Welcome back, WNST. Baltimore Ravens fans to be headed over to London, and it's going to be a fantastic trip. I think all the way around. Towson, Baltimore, London with the 2-0 Baltimore Ravens. We're going to have so much fun over there this week. Everybody is either going or knows someone who is going, and if you know someone who is going, let them know about our party on Saturday over in the Docklands area. Beginning at 11 a.m., we're going to be having some pints, some fish and chips with delicious mushy peas with my favorite little mint in there, and we're going to take the Emirates Air cable car over the River Thames to the O2 Arena. This guy is not going to London, but he has been to Greece. He's a world traveler himself. He's over at Coons Ford Security Boulevard helping folks buy, sell, maintain, and love their vehicles. We welcome Dennis Kolatzis back on here, who loves the Ravens as well. And Dennis, I mean, we're going to pick this thing apart, right? That's what we do. You're going to be here on Thursday doing what you do from 3 until 5. But with Flacco at the podium after the game on Sunday, I'm thinking, all is okay. They're 2-0. They're headed to Jacksonville. I'm not happy about the Yonda thing. We'll bring all that up. But they don't have a lot of problems right now. They're 2-0,
No, most of the problems are on the offensive side of the ball, Nestor. Thank goodness the defense has stayed relatively healthy. But boy, oh boy, Marshall Yonda out for the season with a devastating injury. That is Max Williams in the walking boot himself. So they do have some issues. 15 players on injury reserve already. That's the big story. Can the offense have enough firepower to keep up with the defense? How much longer can they go? But the encouraging part is the running game. The commitment to the running game has been huge, and now we have a three-headed monster at running back that has acquitted itself real well.
Well, I mean, give Ozzie and Eric and George Kokinis and the people that make these decisions a lot of credit because, they go and get Bergstrom. They go and get Austin Howard. They go and pick up Jeremy Maclin. They find this kid, Alex Collins from Arkansas, to go run the football around on a Sunday with some level of success. Who knows what's going on with West, but, Buck Allen had a nice day as well. Ben Watson's out there with the Fountain of Youth, putting in an almost 100-yard effort as well. And Flacco looks like Flacco, not like what we saw in August, which is where is he and will he be okay? And, can he go out there and throw it around? I mean, it wasn't perfect on Sunday, and they beat a bad team. I mean, I'm stating all the obvious, but that being said, I will take where they are right now. Wins don't come easy in this league, Dennis.
Yeah, Joe Flacco, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, as you mentioned. He looked very much like his old self, Joe Flacco, and that's good news for Ravens fans and Ravens Nation. Benjamin Watson had a great game. Wow, what great hand separation, et cetera. Nick Boyle had a phenomenal game, too, blocking, and so did Max Williams prior to going down. He had a big block on Terrence West's touchdown run. Austin Howard played well, the new right tackle. Brandon Carr played well on the back end, targeted 10 times and only 3 completions and for minimal amount of yards. But this team, look, they did enough. They confused the rookie quarterback there. 4 interceptions overall, 3 by Kaiser and 1 by Hogan. And look, it wasn't pretty. It was uneven, but I saw enough to think that this team can go across the pond and beat the Jaguars and come back home, hopefully 3-0 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh boy, what a great game that's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, let's get through Jacksonville first. I mean, this is the whole thing for the organization and what they're doing and our fans and going over there and sort of the relative, weirdness and I guess good weirdness in a lot of ways. I mean, hell, I'm going and I'm excited. And, I mean, Dennis, how many people do you know that are going? You've got to know friends that are going, right?
Oh, a lot of my friends, look just like yourself, are going across the pond, and they're looking forward to it. They're going to take in the sights that London has to offer and cheer the Ravens. I'm excited because the game's going to be broadcast here at 9:30 in the morning. And look, it's nothing better than waking up on a Sunday morning and watching your favorite football team play in the world stage.
Well, we can be the first team to be 3-0, right? I guess, maybe. I don't know. I didn't check the Thursday schedule, but
that would be wonderful. And the Jaguars, they came back down to earth and lost to the Titans. If they can't get this kid Bortles the lead, he cannot play. He cannot come from behind. That's going to be the key to them, just looking way ahead. But let's still celebrate this Ravens victory. We're still 2-0, And I think that's a big story in this town.
Well, Dennis Kolotzis joining us here. He is, of course, the SSV on WNST. Heard here on Thursdays from 3 until 5, as well as a great sponsor of our WNST text service, which unfortunately gave you the bad news about Marshall Yanda. But we do break news out there. If you're on it, you get it first. It's always brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. Dennis, defense is taking the ball away. And, that really does harken back. And I was very, very fortunate over the weekend. I know you follow me out on social media. I think I took 500 pictures I didn't put up. I only put up 1 or 2 pictures over the weekend. But, spending time with that 0-1 team and breaking bread with Brad Jackson and Tony Saragusa and Mike Flynn was in and Dwayne Starks was in and Anthony Mitchell, the big star of our Nashville game, who still has a wicked sense of humor and a great physique, and he runs a gym and a deal down in Atlanta. These guys have all scattered, but that defense is special, and that defense took the ball away. That defense took your will away. That defense took your running game away. But that defense didn't give up the gashes that we saw on Sunday, and I know Eric Weddle stepped up to the podium, and I think behind him, Suggs and everybody else said, we can't be having these 3rd and 13s go over our head into open seams and have truly busted coverages and having communication problems on the back end.
Well, not only that, they can't have a backup quarterback in this case with Kevin Hogan coming in and running right up and down the field on them and getting chunks of yardage and throwing the ball to a guy that was on the practice squad, Rashard Higgins, just a few days prior. He carved up the Ravens for 95 yards and 7 catches. Again, great defenses don't do that. And look, I'm glad it was not a great performance. They'll give them some tape to go back and take a look at and just clean up some of those things. But certainly, lots of credit to the defense for coming up with big plays, and they had great pressure on the quarterbacks the entire day. The linebackers were very active, and the back end guys, they were just ball hawks. They were looking to take the ball away, and that's what this defense does. And, of course, we'll hear the critics say they haven't played anybody to play the Bengals or the Browns so far, but, look, you can't pick your schedule, and you can't apologize for beating teams that you're supposed to beat.
Marshall Yanda, Dennis, and the loss of him. Look, man, we don't every week, right? You and I sit here. We do 2 segments a week together. You do 2 hours on Thursday. I mean, how much do you talk about Marshall Yanda? We had John Ogden here, one of the greatest left tackles of all time. And, I don't remember on Monday talking much about him or critiquing him other than when, some special pass rusher was shut down by him. But in the case of Yanda, we've had so much trouble around here in the running game. Joe has had some limitations, some problems, some injuries in recent years, and he's been, such a rock, and he's not seen in the way Suggs' age and the way he plays the game is seen. But we're really going to miss Marshall Yanda around here. A legitimate case for a Hall of Fame career, and now gone for the year. And, I met the young man in Bergstrom here who's going to try to replace him, and he seems like an intellectual sort, a guy that's been in the league for 5-6 years now, working on his 4th organization. And, respects what the job is here. But, we didn't praise Marshall Yanda enough. We're going to miss him now that he's gone.
Yeah, it's wild how even his own teammates like Terrell Suggs refer to him as a future Hall of Famer. He is very highly regarded, probably the best right guard or guard period in the National Football League. But huge loss. But it's Tony Bergstrom. He was brought in 6'5", 315, big-bodied guy right along with Luke Bowanko, and they're going to run the ball. The scheme helps these linemen. It's a different scheme. It's a downfield scheme, and this Ravens team now, I believe that after 2 games, will be leading the league in yards rushing, total yards rushing. They've made a huge commitment to the running game. They have held, I believe, a 7-minute advantage in time of possession. Last week was 9-minute advantage in time of possession. So that's Ravens football. Play tough defense, take the ball away, and on the flip side of the ball, just run it down our throat, where Joe Flacco has always been deadly with play-action passes. Very accurate. Joe Flacco was very accurate today. He had one situation on the interception with Mike Wallace, miscommunication there between him and the receiver, which resulted in a turnover. But aside from that, I thought Joe Flacco was very accurate. and put the ball in very tight windows and gave the receivers a chance to do some things with the ball.
You know, Dennis, I'm right in front of the podium at the press conference. I sit in the front of class for everything, for yoga. I'm just the front of the class guy. That's just who I am. Sorry. I don't always sit in the front of the plane, but I get out quicker that way. And Flacco took the podium, and I began the questioning with the smart alecky, so was that fun? And I got him all wound up. But, as I'm sitting 5 feet away, I'm thinking to myself, this must be pretty gratifying, right? Like 2-0, didn't practice at all in August. We haven't had massive communication problems that have led to peril or losses in any way. Even the Kyle Bowler-style punt interception that he threw down on the goal line wasn't such a horrible thing. And they've survived the worst of Flacco's back problems, right? I mean, like, literally, that was the biggest problem we had around here beginning, the day camp started. And now, as we're boarding the plane, literally, to go to London, they're 2-0, and yes, the Yonda thing sucks. And, by the way, it sucks that Dennis Pitt is calling games instead of catching balls. And, Ben Watson went out there and caught 8 balls that Dennis Pitt would have had a part of had he not been injured. And Tavon Young, all the stuff. The Urschel thing is cleared room now for somebody else to play. We have all these tight ends, and they're contributing in little ways. Boyle, and I know Max Williams was in a boot after the game, but certainly, Ben Watson is there and steady and reliable, and it feels professional, doesn't it?
It feels extremely professional. They've got it together. I like the vibe that the entire team gives, and even the running back Terrence West, I think, is a heck of a goal line runner. Buck Allen showed himself well today in a running and passing game. Alex Collins, he's the X factor. Had a great career at Arkansas. Had a bad combine. Only ran, I believe, about a 4.59, 4.6 40, which dropped him down to the 5th or 6th round in the draft by the Seahawks. But we saw today what he can do. A downhill runner. He can run through or around defenders. And just, I'm a big, big fan of the running game. I think it's very underrated in the NFL. But teams that run the ball and play good defense and don't turn it over, those type of teams make the playoffs. When you have a quarterback like Joe Flacco with that big arbor fizz that can make a lot of plays that your average quarterback can't, this team has a real shot. Love the early returns. I'm very fired up, very excited about the prospects going forward.
Couple teams making some noise, and obviously Pittsburgh winning again, Kansas City winning again, Tampa winning in an impressive fashion, Oakland was impressive again. Where some of these teams we spent the summer talking about as being good teams at least have shown themselves to be good teams, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The cream's going to rise to the top no matter what, but the Ravens, may be in our conversation already. Defense does a lot of great things for you. It travels well, whether you're going to Cincinnati or to London. Defense and a running game. As Terrell Suggs said many years ago, you pack your defense and your running game, great things happen. As long as this team doesn't turn the ball over, they have a shot to win every game on their schedule. No reason why they can't beat the Jaguars. And also the Pittsburgh game at home, we always play them very, very tough, extremely tough. And the benefit here is that we're playing them at home versus playing them in Pittsburgh. I feel a lot better about our chances on our home court.
The Suggs thing's incredible, right, Dennis? I mean, you're an old guy. I'm an old guy now. We try to stay in shape. You do your spin thing. I do my yoga thing and whatever. And we know what those mornings feel like as you get older. And certainly this guy's banged it around at a high level, has had horrific injuries, stuff that I can't even imagine, what he's been through. And, he might have gotten 4 sacks on Sunday. Like, he came that close several times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he also had a forced fumble. And as you mentioned, he had 1 sack instead of 4. But I do remember one time he had Kaiser by the jersey trying to pull him down, and Kaiser just barely got the ball off, and he was so upset. He really wanted to. You can just tell he's really trying to get to the quarterback, and I think that rubs off on the rest of the defense for sure. And he leads the way. C.J. Mosley, I thought, played a really good game. Tyus Bowser, the rookie out of Georgia, had a tackle. He had a sack plus an interception. So they're making plays all over the place, and it's infectious. It's just great to see it. Even before the game began, Suggs had them all in a huddle and having a talk to them. And look, they came out ready to play, and right from the opening bell, right to the final whistle. What a great defense this is. Not to the 2000 standards, but time will tell how great they can be as they gel as the season goes forward.
Well, the Brandon Williams thing is not good, obviously, but that's the one spot where they do have deeper depth, and that's what we've talked about in the whole offseason is the D-line, they could withstand that.
No question about it. They're very deep. But Michael Pierce by himself can clog up that defensive tackle spot, but they were 8 deep. Now they're 7 deep, and it doesn't look like he's going to be out for a very long time. We certainly don't know what the injury is exactly at this point, but Coach Harbaugh didn't seem too concerned about it. But to your point, they're very deep, and look, that's where it starts up front. They can stop the run. They can put pressure on the quarterback with just 4 guys, and that makes everybody else just, they can play discipline. They don't have to blitz as much. They can play in their spots. But the rookies are contributing, big time. What a great draft class by Ozzie Newsome thus far. Like you said, give them a lot of credit just for the free agent acquisitions that they were able to plug and play, and plus all the great draft picks that they put on this team this year. Do
you got to be one of those guys that I go to London and all I bring you back's a lousy T-shirt kind of thing, or no?
Look, but I hope you have a great time, and you guys are safe over there. You and all of our friends, and also the teams that are fans.
I'm going for the mushy peas, Dan. That's why I go mushy peas, and the fish and chips and the pints. I'm going to do all that. We were over there for like 2 days, and I didn't have a proper British breakfast. Like the proper British breakfast. They give you like pork and beans. Like literally, like that comes with eggs over there. So I'm going to do that just because I didn't do it. Regrets, I have a few, but then again, too few to mention. So I'm trying to figure out the whole European thing this week. So we're taking over a bunch of people. They're all excited. We're excited. We got our big party on Saturday, and I'm sure we'll be Facebook Living from over there and saying hello to you. All right, Dan?
Well, I'm looking forward to you. Always have such great content on Facebook Live and all over the place, and always great stuff that we can learn from you.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. We'll get you here Thursday, 3 until 5. It is the SSV out on WNST. Tell everybody what's going on at Coons Ford here this week, Dan. Give them a plug.
Hey, just thank you, Nestor. Just the post-Labor Day savings still clearing out the deck of the 2017s that we have in stock. Car, trucks, SUVs, lots of late-model pre-owned vehicles. Rates are still very, very low. And look, before anybody goes anyplace else, come check us out. You'll be glad you did.
Absolutely. Be good. There he is, the SSV on WNST, 3 until 5 this Thursday. I'm headed over to London across the pond. Anything you want to find, you'll find out in our social media. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, and, of course, streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.